Okay guys, what's up? It's part 6 in the Lucci guide. It's the final part as of I know. If you guys want some more specific matchup guides or further questions, just put it in the comments. This is going to be how to beat Black Teach, one of the harder matchups, probably the hardest matchups, and this video might be a little bit longer than the other matchup guides, but that's just because there's a lot of little pointers I can give you that will make this matchup a lot more easy and doable, especially to bad Teach players. So let's get into it. So I forgot to mention, okay, so this matchup, you want to go second, but this matchup's obviously not favored because we can't use Gecko. However, Kaido is probably our best card in this matchup. However, I don't suggest running like 3 Kaido as the I don't think you're gonna run into this deck that much in this meta, especially with the amount of Dofis running around. I just don't think it's worth it. Maybe you could play 2 Kaido if you feel like it's worth for a BY too, because it's pretty good into BY. We talked about it, but I don't think you should run 3. Okay, so turn order. Again, did the stupid shit where I left it in. Turn order, yeah, it's a second, because we obviously don't want them to play Teach right away. We want an extra turn before they're gonna play their first Teach. So yeah, we're gonna mulligan for essentially just 9-cost Kaido or like cheap bodies like Lucci and stuff like that, but probably just 9-cost Kaido or Ice Age Jack, just a way to deal with that that first 10 cost. So let's get into the matchups guidelines though. This matchup's like similar to Black Yellow Luffy in that like Blackbeard's hand is also like a function of their resources in life. So especially like, you know, after 8 Dawn they're going to be losing a bunch of cards because they're going to have to pitch, so we don't use Gecko. So swinging big numbers does nothing in a Blackbeard, and this is kind of like the most common mistake. Like you don't want to be swinging like 9s or 7s or 11s. You want to swing really small, so they'll have to respond to one swing with like 1 card, and the fewer cards they have in hand, the fewer resources they have, and the fewer life. And once they have a 12k blocker, like, you know, swinging really big is going to be especially useless, because if you attach a bunch of Dawn, they're just going to block. Okay. So let's talk about another part. Okay, so in that sense, like on an 8 Dawn or 7 Dawn, unless you're clearing like a really important body, which you're probably not unless they play Teach, plays that would be better are like Lucci Hina, if you're running Hina, or Lucci Khalifa, or just establishing some bodies you can swing with in the following turns. So we're gonna want to avoid using our reduction events early in this event. Like don't trigger them. Like just like don't trigger them on no dock queues. Don't do that. Just keep them in hand because they're gonna be able to get rid of that first Teach, so we can have a little bit longer room to starve them out of resources. So for example, you could do like Tempest Kick plus Kaido to remove the Teach, or you can do Tempest Kick plus Ice Age plus the Jack to remove the Teach. So this is all just a little like strategies you can do. You can also do double Ice Age Brook, right? And actually, maybe this... Okay, so how to win versus Blackbeard. So, like, when they have a 10 cost, you're going to see in the gameplay that the staircase, like the power staircase where you usually attack with, actually it's not reverse, it's the same, but like basically you would want to just attack with smaller, like swings first, like a 5, and don't attach a bunch of Dawn. So you don't want to commit to your swings first. And so if they turn their Teach, you can like jam all your Dawn to their Teach. And if they don't turn their Teach, you can just jam into their leader, forcing them to either just take a life or block with the Teach, right? So you don't want to just be starting off with like a 7 and they're just gonna block, and then you don't have any Dawn left, right? Like you get 2 Dawn, leader 7. Like, it's pretty common sense, but, like, you know, just to keep in mind, like, how you want to be swinging. You want to go, like, wider with your swings, like, go lots of 5s, and, like, until they turn their shit. Okay, and then the last thing I want to talk about is Jesus Burger, and the ways to deal with Burger are the following. If they have rested early and it's not that strong, you can jam into it. And so it's going to, like, negate them having that Burger with the Teaches, which is really going to slow down the game. And 2, if you have the chance to 9 Kaido it, you're gonna just do that right away, okay? And we'll see that right here in this gameplay video. But see, these are like the basic following tips for Teach. I actually kind of ran through that pretty quick, but let's get into the gameplay, which is right here. Okay, so in this matchup, and this matchup's gonna be a little bit long, so because I had to think a little bit just because it's teach. But let's see. Okay, so we're gonna go second here. The game started. Okay, let's first start where the game started. Let's get. So we're gonna go second here, and look by that looks of this hand, we're gonna mulligan. And look, we got 9 cost Kaido and a Jack, so this is a pretty good hand. Got that Lucci to establish a body. We're going second. They play My Arrow Begins, and they get Burger. So next we're gonna play Spandom. Spandom's really good to play early because we're able to like use that to swing into like Doc Q and stuff, and then we're gonna pass turn. Yeah. Now their 3 Dawn turns gonna come, and like the thing that's scary is if they get Hashinoso, their deck becomes a lot more consistent and their burgers become a lot more stronger. But I don't see he has the stage, so it looks like we're in a safe spot here. And he plays the Luffy perfect into my Spandom, goes 6 at me, and I'm actually gonna take this because I want to take a couple life early. Just because I know this matchup's a little bit slower and I want to have some options. I got 2 Ice Ages, just perfect to KO that first teach. And I'm gonna have a misplay this game. Actually, we're gonna go over it, but it actually ends up not mattering. Just because this matchup, like, is not very difficult if you know what you're doing. So I play the Lucci, and we see what's going on here. Let's see. So he uses Liberation on the Lucci, getting rid of it. So the Lucci didn't really come in clutch, but we tried our best. We got the Lucci out there. Okay, so we're going to play another Spandom, looks like. And I want to get a statted unit, so I think I'm just going to throw out the Who's Who just to get a unit to swing with next turn. I'm going to go 5 at him. He's going to counter. Now we're going to play the Who's Who. And he's obviously not giving us leader effect. And actually, I think there is a misplay here. He should have, pitched a card for leader effect here. This turn because I'm going to 8, but he ends up not doing that. There's a slight misplay, but actually, I end up having no Gecko in hand. So this is actually really good for him. And anyway, so I think I should just play the Jack at the start of the turn here. I think I misplay by not playing the Jack at the start of the turn and swinging first, but I wanted to see what he was going to do if I 5'd. Okay, so like maybe he's going to block, but he actually ends up just countering, I think, or he takes it, and then I can think like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to play the Jack to get rid of the that. I know Jack's not that good, and I would rather just play 2 bodies here, but I don't have 2 really good bodies. I can just play Khalifa, and then that's it. So probably not going to do that, and then I'll just go 6 at him. In which I don't know what he does. He takes, yeah, okay. So now we're in an okay spot. We got a Jack. I mean, really, what's gonna come down to is just getting this Kaido out, which is really good, and get him if he plays another burger here, which would really suck. But he needs to respond to the Jack because it's a body I got on the board. And I think he just decides that it's worth it to jam at it with burger, which makes sense, I guess, because I can clear his 10 costs with Jack. But yeah, so we do that. But this is like good because we're at 4 life. We don't got like too few cards in hand, and we're looking like in a good spot. And he's looking pretty low on resources. And I think here he black holes me. So now we're actually okay. Yeah, and we're gonna guard out of that swing. So we have like all bricks in hand, but we're gonna play this Kaido, get rid of this Jack, pop that burger. He has to pitch a card from hand, which is great because it just sets him. Like, it gives him less turns for the game because he's going to eventually starve out of resources, right? So, yeah, that's good. Ooh, yep, 5. Okay, so we got 5, 6. He countered, and don't know why I didn't swing a leader there. I guess that was just a misplay. But here, like, he's gonna play the Blackbeard and then teach, and this is where things get usually bad because like in a situation, it's actually a really good example of what would happen because he actually high rolls into 3. So we're gonna go 5. We're gonna start with these lower staircase swings, like what I'm saying. So like if he turns to teach, I can just like jam into him. So I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna use 3 Dawn on Spandom first because like if he turns that teach, go what? 7, 12. It's not a lot, but actually there's no situation where I would jam here, except that now I can actually jam into his face because he has 1 card in hand, and he's like, yeah, it's most likely he has a teach in hand, and where he's forced to take. So like you see what I did there? Like, well, let's go back. I don't want to rush through these things. Okay, so yeah, so what happened is we did the who's who swing to get a 5, and if he rested that, I would have just pumped all my Dawn onto Lucci. He didn't do that. And then I did another 5 to either get a swing out with Spannum, so Spannum became an attacker, and then now I have exactly 12 Dawn, and he has 1 card in hand. So you can either counter out, have 1 card in hand in the next turn, and then he has 0, right, if he pitches, or he has to take this life, which puts him at 1, which is really good, or he can block with Teach. So this is like just, you know, lethaling him. I'm making him closer to lethal over here. So like, okay. And yeah, I think that there is a situation where I could have just played the double Ice Age Jack, but I think this is also a fine play, and I don't think it made a big difference just because of the spot I'm in. So I think from this part, like he's running out of cards in hand, there's not much to do with. He's going to pitch a card, and now it's my turn. And we're going to go ahead and, yeah, so we're going to have to let this guy go, and our Kaido really can't attack because of that, but he's going to be able to attack soon, so that's good. So we're going to get rid of his Teach here, which is really good, actually. And I don't even think it's worth swinging, right? Like, there's no point to swing because, you know, like, and then he actually plays another Teach, which is, like, fucked. You're like, fuck. Okay, but, like, whatever. We lose the Jack. But from, like, this spot on, like, he has 0 cards in hand, and, like, and we can see that, like, I'm going to go ahead and play Gecko next turn. And I have another Kaido. He has 2 cards in hand. These 2 bodies. He's not going for game. I have 4 life. This is the ideal spot you want to be with as a Lucci player into Blackbeard. And I can show you. This is how the game should play out in your favor. I know you might not run as many Kaidos. Maybe you want to run more Kaidos. But this is how to beat Blackbeard. It's a pretty okay matchup. I don't think it's like unwinnable like people say. But yeah, like that's how you beat Blackbeard. And thanks for watching, guys. This is the end of the Lucci guide. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I always get to all of them. Next, I don't know what videos will be coming out next, but I'll tell you what, there's gonna be a video every single day this week, at least for the next week, because I'm gonna be grinding YouTube, and I want to grind for One Piece Day. And all that will be shared with you guys. So whether that's going to be me going through regionals, deck lists, talking about like things I'm doing to prepare, how you can prepare, like I'm going to be grinding. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this OP9 Lucci guide.